Okay, we're good to go finally. Thanks my no, not thanks to my computer because it has to crash over the tiniest thing. That's typical Windows for you. But anyways, welcome to tonight's PSL Preseason Thunder here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. So much like last week at Talladega, it's going to be a 30-minute long testing session, but this time around, every driver will participate. And this test is going to be very unique since we also tested here back in 2020 with the Golf Summer Series. So we're able to directly compare the speeds with the golf cars to the PSL cars. And looking back at that GSS test from 2020, the fastest time was set by Adam Bowden's 83 Ford with a solid 27.4 flat 27.4, while the slowest time was Devin Pavement's Chevrolet with a 27.819. So it's going to be pretty interesting to say the least to see how this compares to Golf Summer Series and its test. So without further ado, let's get this going. Um, Find it. Okay, here we go. Well, I don't know if it's showing on y'all's screen, but it's not showing here, which is odd. Okay, it's showing on the YouTube stream. It's a little behind though. Just trying to double check. Why is it not showing? Is it? I'm confused. Is it showing? Or what's going on? What the? Is it not gonna show? What in the world? What in the world? I have no idea what's going on. It's not showing for some reason. What in the world? Oh god, okay, I have to probably let me redo this. Uh Typical Windows for you, am I right? Oh my god. Like, show already. Come on. Get rid of this. Okay. It's not showing. I don't know why. Oh boy, the technical stuff continues. Gotta love it. Um Alright. Oh, it showed it for a bit. Is it gonna show it now? There we go. Okay, it's good. It doesn't show on my other screen. I don't know why, but that's besides the point. I don't know why it's not showing on my OBS screen, but whatever. Okay, it's working. We're good. Let's get this going. Just making sure on showing on YouTube as well. So Matt TL is off rolling. Yeah, it's showing. Okay, it's working. So there's the one of Alex Mullen. Um, he's currently the only driver that doesn't have a paint scheme quite yet. I'm gonna get into it tomorrow to hopefully finish up this game, but I'm probably gonna record the opening race like tomorrow or Monday because it's getting pretty close and I don't want to have any delays. So, like I said, everyone's doing the test. I'll work on the pit box as well. There's a 71 of Salomon. Like I said, I'm gonna work on the pit boxes. Because it's kind of weird having like this all of these pit boxes. There's like some blank ones. Anyways, 76 of Daniel Voiles, first one to put a lap at 46, a solid 46 flat, but which is a warm up lap, trying to get everything going here. So now more laps coming in, 28.683. Already about a second off the fastest Golf Summer Series test lap from 2020. But we still got over 28 minutes left to go. And of course, this is, if you can't tell already, this is the older Atlanta, not the one we have now. That's a super speedway. Old school, quad oval Atlanta, where you can go with tons of lanes, tons of passing to work. Yeah, there's still a lot of pass, especially for the GSS races we had here. Let's go on board for Lipsy in the 9 car. More times being set, so the fastest. More times being set. Currently to 87 of Chris Murray as a 28.483 as the fastest time. See how fast Lipsy's going. 194 into the corner. I think the GSS cars were just under 200. So down the back straight away. 192, 193, 94. Went flat out for a bit there. 194 seems to be the top speed of this racetrack. But besides that, I think this is a good in-between track for California and Minnesota, because California, of course, is a 2-mile-long D-shape oval, while Minnesota is a mile-long quad oval, similar shape to this. So the kind of spots in between the length of California and Minnesota, as well as sort of the track layout of Minnesota, and the fact that there was multiple lanes to work with. A couple new fastest times. That's the 20 of Kellen Baker. I was supposed to say movement. Kellen Baker in the 20 this year with 28.336. As I say that, another fast time from Brendan Beal as we're 3 wide off turn number 2 here. That's the 61 of Forbes, Trey Smith, or Daniel Rice. Just tucking back in, following. What's the one I'm looking for? Whatever, but he's got out of that 3-hour situation pretty quickly. So the 37 of Brendan Beal now is the fastest time. If we can find Brendan Beal. Where is he? There he is. 28.213. Matthew Burnett, the car right behind him, has a 28.225. Now Beal was at one point also on top of the board during our Talladega test last week. But it goes to show how that Railfan could be a team to watch out for, especially at 37 team when you do this for real. And by the way, if the sound, I don't know how I sound. I realized during last week's Dega stream I was a little too quiet. The cars were a little too loud, so I did lower the sound a bit for this test because I don't want the cars to be too loud. This is why my strength is editing and not doing live streams. Also, if you notice the new PSL ticker I realized I needed to update it because the white on light for like a light flag wouldn't really work. And I do have different shades of yellow for the caution flag. What I'm aiming for with this ticker is for all the colors to be sort of pastel colors to be kind of sort of fit in with the summer theme. Now let's take a look at the driver who was one of the slowest times during last week's test, and that is the 82 of Jordan Caldwell. Currently, Caldwell in the 82 car where is he? Currently 22nd fastest. That team's still trying to find decent speeds here in the PSL. As 82 heads down pit road this time by. Meanwhile, as for the fastest car during last week's session, Owen Miles in the 25 is currently 25th in car number 25, ironically. So looks like the speed from the super speedways hasn't so far translated into the 1.5 miles here in Atlanta. Now, Joe T in the 99 was actually the slowest time. It wasn't Caldwell, but he was one of the slowest. Joe T in the 99, if you can find him, there he is. Joe T is currently 15th on the board. Pretty decent there with a 28.336. As your top two is mostly looking the same as Hoodlum in the 88 car is 3rd fastest. His teammate Chris Murray 4th fastest, while Dylan Matthews is currently 5th fastest. I know Dylan has 1 T in Matthews. There's only 1 T in Matthews instead of 2. I guess just pronounced the same. But yeah. There is Random J, of course. This is his home track. Currently 11th fastest in that Toyota Camry. Random was kind of up and down during last week's Dega test, and so far it seems to be the same here. I can switch my camera to not just the same camera all the time. There's a look at Kellen Baker's paint scheme in the in the number 20, sponsored by Pontiac. This is only one of 2 Pontiacs, the other being Jose Angel in the 79. Here's another new car. Here's another new car here. This is the 91 of Ross McTrain. This is the other Brito racing car. Currently 17 fastest on the board, sponsored by Waffle House and Smithfield. Keyshawn Richardson, another Aero Atlanta car here. Richardson currently 23rd fastest, while Matt TL in the 17 is 33rd fastest. Not so far, hasn't been too much speed in that 17. Of course, obviously still early here. Patrick Miller in the 33, 24th fastest. Joe T, I mentioned, he was 15th fastest, 16th fastest now on the board. While Mopar SRT in the 41, 20th fastest. Trey Smith in the 4, 21st fastest. Jordan Forbes, 30th fastest. As there's a whole group of cars here, led by Matthew Burnett. Let's go on board from here. Now, this is the Petty V8 sound pack, if you're wondering. I tried finding another Super Speedway sound pack that sounded like the Gen 4 one, but to no avail. But I did find plenty of other sound packs that kind of sound like the Gen 4. Cool thing about this Petty V8 sound pack, it was actually recorded on a real Cup car. Or, I guess, you know, one of those racing experiences, like the Richard Petty experience or NASCAR experience. It was actually recorded in the NASCAR 3-wide into turn number 1 of Beal on the outside, Stapleton in the middle, and Matthews on the inside. As that's going to cause the 97 and 37 to fall back, with Nick Sant side by side of Beal. But anyways, I was saying, Petty's V8 was actually recorded inside a real stock car, versus the other sound packs I used were just taken from TV footage. Jason Albert in the 80 car alongside Daniel Voiles once again. Albert is currently in 15th fastest, while Voiles is 31st fastest. Here's Kyle Salmon, another newcomer to the preseason Thunder. He's been in the Random J Series for quite some time now. Currently 19th fastest for that number 71 for RC Motorsports. Caldwell back on the meanwhile Caldwell back on the track. Still has actually been putting a solid speed there. 13th fastest on the board, definitely much better than some of his previous results Talladega last week. We just cannot find any speed. Or Jose Angel, currently 33rd fastest. There's Braden Carruthers, 27th fastest. Johnny Hernandez, 17th fastest. Caleb Rose, 6th fastest. And again, it just proves my point on Relfan being very, very strong so far here in preseason Thunder. Beal still on top of the board with Rose, much like last week at Talladega, who was also constantly inside the top 10 when it came to speed. So, Relfan, definitely a team to watch out for here in the Palm Summer League. There's there's reigning GSS champion Ryan Wilson, 8th fastest on the board. So we missed the looking to hopefully keep up, looking to win his 3rd championship, and looking to win his 3rd championship across 3 Random J Series. Roberto Crown in the 21 and 12 fastest so far. Jordan Stout, the other Aero Atlanta car, 28th fastest, while Hoodlum is still solid, holding on to a solid 3rd on the board so far. As we have less than 19 minutes here in this preseason Thunder. I'm gonna go on board Hoodlum here for a bit. We're going helicopter cam. So you notice going into 4 here, and I think going into 1 as well, you don't go into the brakes immediately. You're still on the throttle, and then you brake halfway through the turn. That's something that's always been unique about this racetrack. Fortunately, you're not going to race here in Atlanta in the Palm Summer League, but this track will always be pretty special if you are a former GSS viewer. As, of course, during the GSS days, it was a day-to-night race, and it was one of the longest on the Summer Series calendar as Hold'em was going down pit road. Let's go to helicopter cam real quick. Now, cool thing with the sound pack, the helicopter cam does not make any noise, so if I go to helicopter cam at one of our intermediates, you won't have to hear any more noise from the helicopter. Anyways, your top three still looking roughly about the same. Britton Beal still on top of the water. Burnett, Hoodlum, Murray, and Matthews, the top 5. Caleb Rose 6th, Stapleton 7th, Wilson 8th, Ream 9th, and the 20 of Baker in 10th. So 3 out of the 10 drivers inside this top 10 are all Railfan drivers. And technically speaking, as a matter of fact, 4 drivers are and 4 of these are I can technically say 4 drivers in this top 10 are Railfan drivers, because the 97 Stapleton's team, NS Racing, is aligned with Railfan Motorsports this season. So the Dodge is really showing their strength. As we're 3 wide again into turn number 1, with Voiles pulling away from Murray and Random on the inside, or on the middle line, I should say. As both Random and Murray are going to tuck in right behind the 43 in the middle, as Random is actually never mind. Random's still side by side of Murray into turn 3 before Random clears the 87. Alex Mullen looks like he's ready to come down pit road this time by in that test car, as his RC Motorsports team is still trying to work out last minute kinks for his paint scheme. Again, I'm hoping RC has that paint scheme out by tonight or tomorrow. There's Ryan Wilson making a stop. There's some of the fastest 2 drivers side by side there. If I can find my camera, Bradley, Ream, and Burnett side by side through turns 1 and 2. Now, it's the fastest time still so far, even with kind of, they're not real, I can't really call them packed, but they're kind of working with group. There are groups here, several groups. The fastest time still doesn't come nowhere even close to even the slowest Summer Series time of, again, 27.819. Because, again, these cars are a little bit slower than the Summer Series cars, but you saw when you're on board with Lipsy and also Random for a bit there, these cars can still reach 194 going into the corners. Anyways, less than halfway we're less than halfway, well, over halfway done with our testing session. Jeez, I can't talk. Of course, this is our final preseason thunder for the PSL before our real season begins on Memorial Day itself at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Also, look out for some promos, and also look out for a PSL promo and an intro coming out over the course of this next week. There's still some finishing touches I need to get done for this series, but we will be ready to go by Memorial Day. So I say Labor Day. See RC, Mullen, I should say, Wilson and Angel down pit road, as there's a group in front. As here's this group of cars here led by Johnny Hernandez and Caleb Rose. Albert also in this group alongside Carruthers, Salomon, and Voiles. So yeah, it seems like these cars are a second slower. Generally looking at the trends here, these cars seem to be about a second slower than the golf cars. But these things are still, again, absolutely no slouch at all. And really, tracks like these show the full potential. I really feel like tracks like these show the full potential of these cars. And I really think California will be the track. Well, that would probably show the full speed of these cars, because the testing I've seen at of course, California is one of the fastest tracks, honestly probably the fastest track in the Palm Summer League schedule, even with that bumpy surface. Anyways, less than 13 minutes remaining here in our final preseason Thunder. See Angel coming back onto the track, as Beal is still the fastest driver on the board. Oh, contact! Bradley Ream Codwell! Oh, boy. Oh, man, that's a first here in the Palm Storm. We got some contact there. Looks like both cars will continue. We'll see if there's any damage on either Ream and or Codwell's car. Looks like Bradley doesn't have too much damage. See about Codwell. No, I don't think any damage either. We will have a replay by the end of this session, because if I pull up a replay now, it would probably mess up my computer and everything. But replays will be coming towards the end of the session, I guess, for that. And it looks like Reams will come down pit road just to look to see if there's any damage. But I don't see any damage on that car, but there might be a tire down in that 6. And you don't want that, you do not want that happening, especially here in a test, where it's pretty likely that these cars that these guys are testing right now will be the ones used in California when we go there next month. See Chris Murray doing the stops there, Jordan Forbes, Nick Sant, Random J coming in, as here's Miles side by side of Ryan Wilson. Here's Hoodlum and Mopar. Hoodlum right behind Mopar's bumper. Hoodlum nearly ran into a driver last week at Dega. I believe that was the 76 or the 79. I forgot which number, but Hoodlum almost ran into someone last week as well. Trying to avoid that. Hopefully trying to avoid from that happening again. Looks like so far Hoodlum's just going to stay right behind Mopar. Going into turn number 3 this time by. Meanwhile, RC and Ryan looking to the inside of his former boss off turn number 4, but we're tucking right back in to the 1 cars. Oh, I think Wilson maybe gave RC Mullen a little tap there, as we're 3 wide into turn number 1 once again. Mopar is going to fall back on the towards the middle, as Hoodlum and Ryan are now going to be side by side, the last 2 GSS champions right there, as you come down the back straightaway. See, that's Caleb Rose coming in the 59. Yep, that's Caleb Rose. Everyone, there's a significant many drivers here on pit roads, trying to make some more adjustments and perhaps changing tires before this session is up. Anyways, the board is still mostly the same. It hasn't really changed much, as we have less than 10 minutes remaining here in this preseason Thunder. Beal still the fastest. Burnett 2nd fastest. Hoodlum 3rd fastest. 87 of Murray's 4th fastest. Daniel Matthews 5th fastest, Caleb Rose 6th fastest, Stapleton 7th, Wilson 8th, Ream 9th, and Kellen Baker and rounds off the rest. Oh, contact again! That's Roberto Crown and Patrick Miller that time by. Jesus, everyone being a little aggressive here, here in Atlanta. Sorry for keeping getting the names wrong. This is why I'm doing this test, so I can get used to the names better. As I think Matt Thiel and Random seem kind of swell to me, holding up the field a bit. There we see Codwell coming out. Anyways, these guys are still side by side through turns 3 and 4. Sounds like these guys are going down pit road, but I guess not. As you see Mopar side by side with Voiles. Coming down to less than 8 minutes to go. Murray pretty much all by himself in 87. Just see Smith coming out of pit road this time by. There's Miles looking to the inside of Matt Tiello a little bit through turns 3 and 4. Again, everyone seems to be a lot more aggressive here tonight as opposed to Talladega, where everyone's a lot more conservative. No, we'll cut Mopar's cars. Murray gets a great run into turn number 1. Oh, they make contact into the wall. Goes to 41. I think Murray has damage as well, and it's 87 as Mopar go for a spin in turn number 2. Oh my goodness, that is some big damage on the 41. Yikes. We will have a replay of that, much like our other incidents that happened earlier today. As you see, there's damage on the 87 as well. Wow. Crazy, crazy. And ironically speaking, we had a spin during our GSS test in 2020 as well. So history does seem to repeat itself here in Atlanta. As we got a new fastest driver on the board, Jordan Codwell in the 82 now the new fastest driver. 28.188. Definitely beats Beal by, not I would say a landslide, but almost a full 10 faster than the 37's lap. So definitely a good good turnaround here from of course 1 week ago where Codwell was struggling to find speed in an 82 car, but now he was on top of the board over two GSS champions as well as several other veterans. And Codwell into turn 1 and an aggressive walk on Matthews there, but unlike before, manages to keep it straight and steady. You see Hold'em and Random behind one another. Two veterans here in the Random J series. Take a look at some of the other drivers lower in the leaderboard. See Baker is now falling outside the top 10 because of Mullen's new fast lap. Random 12th fastest, Crown 13th fastest, Salmon 14th. Rice 15th, Albert 16th, Joe T 17th, Hernandez 18th, McTrain 19th, and Mopar 20th fastest, who of course got to run into with Murray there. Anyways, less than 6 minutes remaining here in this PSL testing, and fortunately, Mopar did find I guess Mopar's team did find a backup car. I guess they did bring a backup car to this track in case something went wrong, as he's back out and rolling once again. But at least on the bright side for that 41 team, they got plenty of time before California to get that car ready for that big 2-mile-long track. Same can also said for Murray. Well, Murray's damage was kind of minor, as he's already coming out of pit road here. His damage was minor, definitely compared to Mopar, but still his damage nevertheless for Hernandez Racing car. Still not really much difference when it comes to test time so far as we're less than 5 minutes done here from Atlanta. We're on board with one more driver. See if we find one in a big pack if they're still doing that. Oh, we're on board with Baker. On board Baker's Pontiac Trans Am. As we come to less than 4 minutes, 4 minutes left here in Atlanta. If again, still the same times of Mullen, Beal. No, I keep mixing up the names. Crap. Still have the same times with Caldwell, Beal, and Burnett, the top three. See, Carruthers was making kind of an aggressive pass on Hernandez into turn number 3 that time by. Those guys are continuing on just fine. We got two more. I thought they were the same manufacturer, but two other GSS. Former GSS drivers would say Nick Sant in the 40 and Rose in the 59 once again. Rose is still inside the top 10 when it comes to times, while Nick Sand has been basically nowhere near. Where is he? 22nd. Nowhere even close to the top 10, unfortunately, for the 40. Matt TL is still 33rd fastest. Hasn't really found speed at all in that 17 here tonight. And yeah, 33rd in the last time. I should. This is a good thing about testing. I'm used to like 35 or 38 cars for GSS, but we only have 33 here for the PSL. There's Richardson right behind Voiles off turn number 4 and down the front and into turn number 1. Now he looks to the inside of the 76. Richardson making that pass, trying to make the pass on the 76 off 2 this time by Isaac clear Voiles into turn number 3. Just hold him down pit road, doing some last-minute changes. As we have less than 2 minutes left here in Atlanta. Random Zenith is getting out of pit road here for probably the last time here tonight. There's Wilson side by side with former champion. Here was the 2 GSS top 2 points finishers in last year's GSS, Ryan Wilson and Matthew Burnett. Side by side with one another there. Wilson clears 44 into turn number 3 as he approached Jordan Stout. As Wilson now looks to the side of Stout through turns 1 and 2 as we approach less than 1 minute remaining, or less than 1 minute left here in Atlanta. Stapleton coming off, Hoodlum coming off pit road. As we're going to catch up to Jordan Codwell and Brado Racing as also something happens here. Looks like they will have the fastest time. Again, great turnaround from that team after last week and their pretty disappointing results at Talladega. And of course, much like last week, the results will be posted on the Discord after the stream. So definitely stay tuned for that. And I will show the replays of what happened with the contact we've had. As these drivers tonight have been definitely a lot more aggressive than they were last week at Dega. As testing is complete, as our preseason thunder is complete here in Atlanta, with Jordan Codwell, the fastest on the board here in Atlanta, with Beal second fastest, Burnett third fastest, Hoodlum fourth fastest, Chris Murray fifth fastest, Dylan Matthews sixth, 59 of Caleb Rose seventh fastest, Nathan Stapleton eighth, Ryan Wilson ninth, and Bradley Ream runs off the rest of the top 10. As for the rest of the top 20, I'm going to probably stop there because I don't want my voice to get worn out. Calvin Baker 11th fastest, Random J 12th fastest, Roberto Crown 13th fastest, Kyle Selman 14th, Daniel Rice Jr. 15th fastest, Jason Albert 16th fastest, Joe Teen 99 17th fastest, Johnny Hernandez 18th fastest, Ross McTrain 19th fastest, and rounding off the rest of the top 20 is the 40 of Nick Sands. Now let's take a look what happened with some of the contact we saw. If I can actually find it, I probably should have bookmarked these. Let me see about some of the contact we saw. I know it was between some other driver. I need to look it up. I should have bookmarked the times. Ah. It was Ream and Codwell with around 12 minutes left. So I'm not even nowhere close. That was the first contact. We had, what, 3 instances of contact here tonight? We had a decent amount. So here we go. So this all started coming off turn number 2 here, down the back. Caldwell goes wide on the inside. Here comes Ream. All of a sudden, bam! Ream looks like he maybe came down on the 82 as Caldwell was coming up. Looking at it again here. Take this from another angle. Oh yeah, this is a good angle here. So here's Codwell. I'm gonna just move this slow here. No, do this instead. So again, in the 3 here, Reem comes down as Reem comes down as Codwell comes up. Bam! Is ran into each other right there. And it looks like, again, there was no damage on either one of those cars, so looks like they do want to use it as their primaries. No problem with any too much harm there, so that's definitely good news there. Now, when we find the other contact here, there was at least one other form of contact. There was, again, 3. Alright, that was around 9 minutes with... It was now 9 minutes left with Crown and Miller. Let me go find that. This is why, again, this is why I'm good at editing instead of live streams, because I can just cut to it. Okay, so here we go. So let's start on the front quad oval. Miller on the outside, Crown towards the middle of the racetrack. See what happened here. Oh. Looks like, I guess Miller came, I guess both, the 97 to 33 ran out of room. Let's look at it again. But great save from the 33 of Patrick Miller. So let's see here. Look at that again. Here we go. So Crown on the inside gets a run into turn number 1. And then Miller comes down just a little bit in the 1, as again, Crown was coming up, making contact with the 33, nearly sending him spinning it into the wall in front of a lot of those drivers. That was definitely very, very scary. Thank God no one did wreck there, as Miller's going to get forced up to the racetrack because of that. Take that one more time. That would have been definitely very scary to have multiple drivers right there in the moment wrecking. Wow. Let's go on board with Patrick Miller are here in the cockpit view. So watch Crown in the mirror here. Whoa, my goodness! I barely even have to move the wheel. That's kind of impressive, to be honest. If I can have to move the wheel. And of course, let's look at our last incident of the day between Chris Murray, and probably the biggest one, Chris Murray and the 41 of Mopar. So this happened right here. I got it at the right time. Okay, so let's start once again in the front stretch. Murray was quickly approaching Mopar. Mopar was towards the outside, kind of slower car here. So here comes Murray into turn number 1. Oh! Wow. You beat the judges there on what happened, but Murray definitely made big contact with the 41, sent both those cars into the wall. Take it around slow motion and go on board with Murray. So again, it seems like both cars maintained their line into turn number 1, but as they down the front stretch, but into turn number 1, here comes Murray to the inside of Mopar. Ran both of those, when basically each other out of room, sent both cars into the wall, with Mopar getting the worst of it, with Murray getting heavy rear end damage to that 87 car. Well, Mopar's heavy damage to both sides of that race car, especially towards that right side, and goes for a spin. And Mopar was stopped towards the middle of the track for quite some time. And look at all those guys, Rice and Hernandez. Well, ironically, Murray's teammates there, other teammates there, missing that. Look at this one more time from another camera angle. And we'll go on board with 87. Wow. And then one more camera with Chris Murray. If you want to ask me, I think Mopar came down on the 87. But honestly, you be the judge there. But anyways, that wraps up our second and final Palm Summer League preseason thunder here for the 2023 preseason here from Atlanta. Um, another preseason thunder next week because on the Monday after next Monday, not this coming Monday, but next Monday, on Memorial Day itself, will be our opening Palm Summer League event of the year, the Coca-Cola Summer Kickoff at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. So hope you guys see everyone then. Definitely going to be a very, very exciting race, if it being a super speedway and everything. And so I got to wrap up a couple more things when it comes to PSL stuff, like graphics and all that stuff, and waiting for RC's last paint scheme. But besides that, we're almost ready. We're just about ready for the season to begin. Stay tuned for some promos coming out through the week. But without further ado, anyways, y'all, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Hopefully my audio was better than last time. And I'll see you guys next time.